Hey everyone, well, welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing a 10-mile walk from Heigham, taking in Reps and Thurn. I call this my 3 mills walk. So we've got 2 mills in Heigham. One's a private dwelling now, one is a B&B, and then we've got a restored mill at Thurn Staithe. So come and join me for a 10-miler from Heigham. So I started at the village hall. The entrance is just where that speed sign is there. So I came out and turned left, past the play area here, and I'm going to carry on down the road just for a little way, and there is a footpath down there on the left hand side that we're going to take. So we've come off road for a bit now. We're just heading along this footpath up to a road called Church Lane. So we'll make a right there and then we'll go all the way up to St Nicholas's Church, Heigham, and we'll come back round via a few roads. We do have to cross the A149, but then we'll come down to Mill Lane where we will see our first mill. So here's where we came from, and over there in the distance, just going to zoom in, is the church that we're headed for. And so we've just come to the end of this field. We're going to come through this hedge, and there's a second field before we get to Church Lane. Now we've come to the road. So this is Church Lane. We are going to go this way towards the church. There is another footpath that goes down there that heads down to the end of a road called Chapel Lane. But that'll be for another day. I'll possibly do another walk that maybe goes more in the other direction towards Heigham. But today we're going to do a loop to the church. These are nice quiet roads. Heigham is actually split up into 2 parts because you've got the A149. It used to be the old railway line, goes right through it. So this side is more of a residential side, the farms, the fields, the church, and then the other side is the pub, the boatyards, the fish and chip shop, the amusements, the bridge as well. Before we get to the bend in the road here, we get to a footpath sign, and we've got a crossfield path towards the church, so we're going to take that one. If you do carry on down towards the bend there at the corner, you can actually go down a path towards the woods over there, go through the woods and come out onto another footpath there, which we will do another time. Let's head towards the church. Road where we have St Nicholas Church. We are going to the right. And we head on down until we get to a little green island in front of the church, and we turn right there. This wall, like the way they built that. And we're going to be heading down a bit of road for a while until we get to Mill Lane to see the first mill. There is a longer way round to the tea break stop that I was thinking of, and that's to go down Marsh Road. and actually go up to Potter Heigham Bridge that way. As I'm keeping the walk to 10 miles today, we're going to take a bit of a shorter cut and heading down Church Road to the right here until we get to a little road called Dovehouse Lane, which I think is a really nice name for a road. Again, this road is really quiet. So we're in mid-February now, mid to late February, and daffodils are all starting to come out. So there's been a lot of snowdrops and a few crocus, but just the last few days I've noticed daffodils coming out as well. So spring is here. It's getting lighter later in the evenings. Perfect for if you want to start your walk a little later or extend your walk. You're not going to be walking in the dark. Some of these houses are really nice. I think thatch looks really good on a house. Look at this tiny little one here. I think that's really cute. That's really nice as well. I love the flint there. Now we're coming up to the junction with Dovehouse Lane. So we're going to make a left here. So if any of you know, let me know in the comments if there was anything to do with doves or a dove house down here at all at any point. We've got a dove house farm there as well, so obviously a running theme. This is the dead end, so you shouldn't get too much traffic down here. There's then right at the end a little alleyway to the right that takes us out onto St Nicholas Way. And that will take us to one of the main roads where we can go up to the 149, go across and head across to our first mill. Straight ahead of us is the farm, and this to our right here is the alleyway. So this comes through to St Nicholas Way. When we come out of the other end of this alley, we're actually going to go straight ahead. So there is a road to the right called the Thoroughfare, but that's actually a no-through road. But that doesn't actually go anywhere. We're going to go straight ahead and onto Station Road, named because where it crosses the 149 is actually where the train station was when it was a railway. So that was Potter train station, where we're going to cross the 149. Coming up to the end of St Nicholas Way now. We're on Station Road. So that goes back up to the village hall where we were. And we're going to head down that way towards the crossing with the A149. So we're now on the other side of the road. Going to head on up to the end here where there's a post office on the left, and we need to cross this road, go down to the right a little bit, and then turn left down Mill Lane, which will be a bit quieter. coming down to the end of Mill Road here so I can show you the mill. So this is our first mill out of the 3. Obviously not functional anymore, no sales or anything, it's actually part of somebody's private dwelling. But I think it's really nice when they repurpose things like windmills or lighthouses or water towers and make them into somewhere to live rather than pulling them down. I just think it would be really nice to live in a windmill. So there we have it, mill number 1. We actually need to go back a tiny bit on ourselves to go down this footpath here. Not 1 but 2 footpath signs here, one here and another a little further along, so very clearly marked. So we're going to be off-road for quite a while now. This footpath takes us down to a field and we skirt the edge of the field and then come back along right at the back of the Herbert Woods boatyards. So this is where a lot of people come when they come to the Norfolk Broads for their summer holidays, hiring out boats. You can hire day boats or hire boats for the whole week or 2 weeks and just go around all the Broads. Nice peaceful holiday. Got a lovely what I call a tree tunnel here. The trees all bend over to meet each other in the middle. Really nice. You can hear all the birds, and suddenly we feel like that we're out in the middle of nowhere. A nice bit of boardwalk has been laid down here so it doesn't get too muddy underfoot. And we're coming out now to the edge of the field. I'm going to turn left down here. Carry on round the edge of the field. The road there by the hedge actually leads to Ludham, and that's another place I'd really like to do a walk for you and include How Hill and St Benet's Abbey, because that's a beautiful walk, so watch out for that one in the future. This walk I plotted so it's perfect for tea and lunch breaks. So for a 9-10 mile walk I tend to try and have the tea break around 3 miles in, which is when we will get to Heigham Bridge. There's a cafe there and toilets and everything. And around about the 6-7 mile mark is Thurn Stave, which is a really nice place to sit and have a lunch. So coming away from the field now, you see the Broads Authority footpath sign, clearly marked there. Put a nice bridge in for us. We'll then be coming around to the back of the boatyards. In the distance there, I don't think the camera's picking it up, but in the distance there, the other side of the river, is one of the other mills that we're going to be coming across today, which is a B&B, which is done out really, really nicely. It looks lovely from the outside. I'd love to stay there. So we've got a footpath here, goes down towards one end of the boatyards. It does say warning bull in field. I've never seen a bull in this field, but you never know. So if you want to do a shorter walk, you could go that way, because I believe there is a footpath opposite that then comes up to the end of Marsh Lane, which is a lane near where the church is in Potter Heigham. So if you wanted to do the shorter walk, you could do that circular. We're just going to go a little bit further ahead here and then make a left, and that will bring us out actually through the boatyards. We've just come out of this footpath here and I'm going to be walking alongside the river for a bit. So you can go down that way. We're going to go towards the boatyards down there. And it's always really nice to see these little chalets on the water's edge and what they've done with the little garden areas and things like that. There's a couple of lovely looking places down here I'm going to show you. So we're going to go to the left. Here we are now, coming up to a nice little house on the river. I believe you can rent this out, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you can, I'll actually put a link to it in the description, along with the link for the mill over the other side of the river that we'll see in a minute, and we'll get a closer look at later on in the walk. But yeah, I think that's really nice. Really unusual shape, but plenty of windows. Must be lovely inside as well. As you can see in the distance there, that mill is actually the mill that we went past at the end of Mill Road. We're coming up to the boatyards now, and very shortly on the other side of the river we'll see another mill. Here we are at Herbert Wood's Boatyards on the River Thurne. So this is Potter Heigham Bridge, closed at the moment because it has got a hole in it that needs repairing. It's a really nice little bridge. Over in the distance there you've got fish and chip shop and day high for the boats, and then coming back in the other direction, got a tavern there, and then you've got a cafe, you can get tea, coffee, ice cream at the hatch there, so perfect place for a little stop. I've just crossed the road and I'm sat at the other side of the bridge now, just to have a little drink and a snack. So that's the A149 going across the footpath there. Actually underneath that bridge the footpath carries on for quite a while, and that is another longer route back to another area of Potter Heigham. Just going past the fish and chip shop now. We were able to cross the bridge. It is closed to traffic at the moment, but there's a little pedestrian walkway that you can come down. So there's another footpath there, that's the Weaver's Way. That's where we'll be coming back from Thurn, and that's where the other mill is in the distance there, so that'll be our third mill. And just to keep us off the road here, there's a little walkway to take us to the side of the A149, and there is a path that actually goes alongside of the road until we get to Reps, and then we'll go on to a much smaller road. I've made my way right down a road called Low Road. If you hit the petrol station, you've gone too far. It's a road just before the petrol station. So we're in Reps with Bastwick now, and we're looking out for a footpath on our right. So just opposite these pretty little cottages here, we've got the footpath sign. So it will seem at first as if we're going back on ourselves. We do a bit of a curve round, and it'll eventually bring us out to Thurn, which will be our lunch stop. Then you've got toilets, you've got the mill and the stays, which is really nice. There's a pub there called the Lion, and there's also some toilets as well. There's a tiny bit of area that you can park on if you wanted to start a walk from there, but it is quite small, which is why I've decided to start the walk at Potter, because the car park at the village hall is really quite big. The footpath took us round the edge of a field and then past a house there that's being done up, down this track, and then we just need to cross this road and carry on straight ahead towards those woods over there, and then we'll be going through the woods and towards Thurne. I carried on straight ahead and went straight through the woods. We've come to a fork in the path here, so there is a footpath that goes through to the road here, around the edge of this field. But on this walk we're actually going to be keeping to the path through and to the edge of the woods that brings us round into Thurn, and will bring us to Thurn Stave, where we can stop for lunch. It's nice to have the variation with this walk of a few bits of field, bits of woods, and going alongside the river as well. We've come to another fork now, and there is a footpath that goes down there, which you can take. There's quite a few footpaths around the Thurn area, so you can take that and get to Thurn Stave, but we're going to be following the woods around this way and coming to Thurn down this path. We're now at the point where the footpath turns into a track, so we're nearly in Thurn. So we just head down this track for a little bit longer, and it will curve around to the left, and then we'll find ourselves on the road, and then we'll have the Lion pub on the left, and opposite it we'll have Thurn Stave to the right with the mill, and we can have our lunch there. Here is the Lion Inn. So we're at Thurn now. Got an information board here about the Weaver's Way, as we're using parts of the Weaver's Way for this walk. Got a few points of interest here. I've actually got a map as well. So we came from Potter Heigham. We've actually come around this way. We're at Thurne, and we're going to take an arc along the river back up to Potter again, and then back up to the car. So here we are at Thurn Mill, nicely restored. They sometimes have an open day where you can go and have a look inside. I don't think you can go up to the top, although there have been times when they've had sponsored abseils down there. This is one of my favourite mills on the Broads. So we're actually going to be going right past it. There's some benches to sit on there right next to it, so I'm going to do that and have something to eat. And then we carry on past it, and then it's just to walk all the way along the riverside back to Potter Heigham. There's some information here on a board as well about the Thurn drainage pump if you do want to read about that. Got a little map down there as well, and some older photos. Cute little cottage there on this side of the river. Little walkway across to it. We're almost back at the boatyards now, and we'll be coming up to mill number 3, which is on a little area that's actually called James Bond Island. And it's all been done up so that people can stay there, use it as a B&B. So let's head over and take a look. We've come to a bit of a junction here now. If you take the road to the right, that takes you down to Reps Church, which can possibly be part of another walk another day, because we're actually going to be going down here, Reps Riverbank, up to Potter Heigham, over by the boatyards in that direction. Here we are. Here is mill number 3, James Bond Island. As you can see, it's all been nicely done up. Nicely painted, had loads of extra windows put in, and you've got a balcony area up the top there, got a window in the cap, and it's actually got a lovely little garden as well. A little old boat in there, so right by the water, a little shed, and a golden alligator apparently. Nice little chair to sit outside. Lovely, love to stay there. Here we are back at the boatyards again, back at the bridge. So coming out on the other side of the river, what we're going to do is, when we get to the road, we're going to turn left and go back over the bridge again and carry on down that road until we reach the post office at the junction with Station Road, where we were quite near the beginning of the walk. So we can make our way back up to the village hall to finish the walk. A bit more peaceful here than usual today, what with the road being closed. Just thought I'd show you, part way down the road back towards the post office, there is a footpath here. So if you wanted to avoid road and extend your walk a bit, if you went straight across there, that will take you up eventually back to the church. So if you go up and then it moves round to the left, it comes to the end of Marsh Lane, and if you go down Marsh Lane all the way to the end, you'll be back at Heigham Church again. We're now at the point where we came back up right past the post office, across the A149 and down Station Road. This is where we came out this morning to come onto Station Road near the beginning of the walk. We are going to go back up this way, straight up to the T junction, then left, and then the village hall will be on our right. Here we are again, back at the village hall, start point of the walk. I really hope you've all enjoyed watching the video today. See you in the next video, and please hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of my content.